Good morning. Oh, it's Wednesday. Finally feeling a little bit better. Enough energy to bust the phone out and do some video in and everything else like that. Last week was rough. It was pretty much just survival mode. We just kind of cruised around doing like as little as possible, but getting everything done that needed to be done. Had some molasses truck rolling in here this morning. So that's going very well. Last week, Monday, Tuesday, I was pretty ill. Wednesday was bag making day. Thursday was grain moving day. We filled up our bins down here, moved some canola around up in the vineyard. And then Friday, actually, of last week, Buddy and I ran down to Edmonton to get some of these totes. We like to go to Edmonton because we can be like more assured, or as assured as you can be, that that it's all good, good clean totes. Ex-restaurant totes that only had food ingredients in them, different things, and we like that because we're going to we're going to put these into a cycle of being reused for the cattle molasses. So they are cleaned when we get them. We bring them back up here over the weekend and maybe on Monday. I don't know. I think on Monday, Dad he steamed them all out one more time. So that's all good. Monday and Tuesday here, I got right with it and started making bags because I was a little bit behind from last week, and that brings us now to Wednesday. So it's been warming up and getting really muddy over here, so I'm trying to only make bags in the morning as to not track all these mud clumps around. So that's one thing that happens on our farm because we know it happens and we're not smart enough to remedy the situation. We don't put enough gravel down. I don't want to put gravel over there because if I spill the grain, it's easier to clean it up on the smooth dirt than it is on the gravel. We don't even really drive over here much, so that's not the end of the world. But what my plan is here, I want to get some more of this 2-inch or 1.5 inch gravel and keep going that way with it. And then I think after yesterday, or after Monday, I don't know, whenever that bag broke, Monday I think, I kind of realized that, I don't know, the mud is the worst option. So I might just gravel it all anyways, and then just do a better job of trying not to spill. Because what happens when you drive over there with the big duals, like on that 4440, all the mud sticks to the duals, and then you drive onto this gravel, and then look at all the mud's on top of the gravel now. So once we get the truck unloaded, I might drag my float around here and try to bust these clumps up a bit. Oh, well, good afternoon. It's about a little after 3, and I'm just going to take a moment here because this is a very rare moment. I am done. I am caught up. So I just made, all these bags right here. Those ones were made. Most of these were already made, but at this point I'm caught up. I'm tired. I'm actually quite miserable because I've been slopping around in the mud over there for like 2 days straight to do this and get caught back up from last week. And my telehandler's been broke down, so I've been using that tractor. And that's not the end of the world. I used that tractor for about 5 years before I got the telehandler to make bags. But once I got the telehandler, oh, it was a game changer. I do not want to go back to this. So telehandler needed a fuel pump. I ordered the fuel pump last week on about Tuesday, and then it was funny, I was watching maybe I'll try to do a screenshot here. I was watching the tracking from Purelator. It left Ontario, got to Edmonton, bounced around Edmonton 3 or 4 times or whatever, then went back to Ontario, bounced around there for a while, and then came back to Edmonton, bounced around there for a while, then made it to Grand Prairie, then finally made it here. So it was about a week. So I'm hoping it is a fuel pump. I did have Finning out and they checked everything that they could, and they said it seems to be your lift pump. So hopefully that's the case. I think Dad's in there right now horsing around with it. I'm going to just gonna spin around in a circle for a little while and celebrate, because like I say, I'm caught up now. There's bags everywhere, and I've tried to keep them on the gravel part so the bottoms of the bags don't get frozen to the mud in the morning, but I did a pretty good job. The last 2 days of working over there, I think I've convinced myself now that this big gravel is it's going to be the best. Even though I can't clean the grain up, I'm just going to start changing the way I do things. I'm not going to use any old bags for filling out of there. I'm going to vet the bags a lot better than I have been in the past. We got to revamp our bag return policy. I know that's a big thing up here. Some folks think that you can't even return the bag. When you actually can, you just have to have a way about ensuring that they're safe and clean and so on and so forth. So we're going to update that a little bit. We're going to get a little bit more serious with it. One of the issues with returning bags, it's even over and above what was in it last and is it clean and dirty or clean or dirty, is the threads. Like if you've treated them badly and, you know, had them hanging from your forks and you drove across your yard, bang, 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 bang with a ton bag, you've put a lot of stress on all the stitching and everything. So the next guy, even though the bag might look clean and new and everything, it's so fatigued that you go to lift it up and it just disintegrates. So that's actually one of the more bigger issues around taking bags back. But most of this gravel held up pretty good where it was thicker and where I haven't had to venture off from the mud to the gravel. So I think I'm just going to get a few more loads of this, whatever it is, 2 inch or 1.5 inch washed, put a load in front of that shed there, and then put another load or 2 over there. Of course, in the mornings when the mud's a little bit tackier, it's almost like Play-Doh, I'll backblade that and I'll get it nice and smooth, and then we'll go from there. But for now, I'm going to head into the shop and see if me and Dad can get that fuel pump out, get the new one back in, and hopefully solve the issue of the stalling telehandler. Well, good evening. It's about 4:30, and I'm in the telehandler heading up to get a bale. So I finished making those bags, and Dad had most of this apart. There was just a little bit left to do. So we got the old lift pump out, new lift pump in. Looking at them side by side on the bench, you know, going through the motions. The old one still seemed to pump, like, but, you know, of course that doesn't mean it hasn't failed. So I'm heading up here right now to get a bale and take it over for the cows. I don't know what to say. It seems okay, I guess. It was hard to tell in the shop right off the bat because there was obviously going to be air in all those lines when we took them off. But it's running now. I don't know. Do I think it's fixed? I hope it's fixed. The fitting guy didn't know, right? He admitted that. All signs, he said, pointed to the lift pump failing. But you know, he plugged his computer in and did his tests and whatever else that he could do. And like I say, he kind of landed on that, but you know, he was only 90% sure or whatever. So I know before, by the time I got up to these bales, it would stall. So we're just going to run it and see what happens. You really miss the telehandler when it's not working, because it's got well, now it's got 3 stages of blower motor, so I got good heat in here, and it's got a windshield wiper too. So my backhoe used to have a windshield wiper, but there's a plastic worm screw in there that got stripped out. So aside from buying a 3D printer or finding someone with a 3D printer, I don't know how you're ever going to find that worm screw. But and then trying to figure out a windshield wiper to go on there. I've phoned Broken Tractor and places like that, and it just seems like it's not easy, not doable even. And you don't realize how handy it is to have a windshield wiper, especially if you're loading totes or bags and there's a bit of snow or whatever on there. Also no defrost. So it's kind of funny, but it's the little things, right, that you appreciate. I'm pretty pumped here. I'm only going like half on the gas pedal. I could go this much more. Whoa. And look at that. So, I don't know. It seems to be, it hasn't been running for a week. Maybe it just needed a break. Maybe it just needed a break. Because it seems to be doing its thing. And that cab heat is sweet. Alright, well, I'm a firm believer in the only way to test things out is like full throttle. So we got that fuel pump in. I went up, I took a hay bale to the steers. And then I remembered that there was a straw bale from last year that got left on a field about 1.5 miles away. So I threw the old telehandler in 3rd gear and let the hammer down. And I'm almost to the bale. And I haven't stalled, and I haven't lost any power. When this thing was on its way out, I had almost no power. 1st gear, I'd be driving around the yard and it would just labor, and then it would stall. I was in 3rd gear going across the field at like 17 miles an hour, maybe? Kilometers? Probably kilometers, I don't know. It was clipping right along. I don't know what this thing's in. Oh, miles per hour. So I'm going about 7 miles an hour right now in 2nd gear. But back there I was in 3rd gear and I was just a whale on her. So, tentatively I think it's fixed. Dirt on my nose. I would be really happy if it was fixed. That was about a $75 part. The only issue was the shipping, where it went across the country twice. So look at that. I made her down to the little dugout here. Unfortunately, them stupid dogs followed me, so now they're probably going to think it's fair game to roam the countryside, but hopefully we can get that figured out. And I got myself a little bit of bedding here, I guess. I mean, I don't really need it, but it was just sitting down around this little dugout, so it may as well go to my house. And I will spread it around, let the turkeys rummage through it, and the chickens, and let the cows lay in it. I'm sure Cookie the llama can figure out something to do with it. Because if I don't get it, all we're gonna do is come back in the spring or this winter here and burn it. So may as well go home. So I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna call it a success. I'm going uphill in the middle of a field. 2nd gear, 7 miles an hour, 2,000 RPM, 1,800 RPM, something like that. Haven't stalled out. Haven't even noticed a laboring lack of power. So we're gonna take this one as a win. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.